now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat new moon, Yasharel. Shabbat new moon.
Khan. Shabbat, new moon, shalom, new moon, all of Israel.
That's right. Welcome to the live lesson today. And it's a wonderful new moon. We have the feast. We have the feast of the Almighty. What a blessing this is, Yasharel. Even in our captivity, to be able to celebrate and to practice the righteous acts. You know what I'm saying? And you know, man, y'all have no idea. Now, I can only speak for myself, all right? And I know Brother Aton can attest. I don't know how you all feel, but man, I'm telling you, it's nothing like having the privilege of keeping the commandments. And they are not hard at all, y'all. It is not. And, you know, for someone to say that it's difficult to keep the commandments, you know, they're a liar. They are a liar because it doesn't require much. The only thing that it requires is your obedience to the Most High. That's it. I mean, what was so hard about that for Israel, even in the past, but yet our people always wanted to be like the other nations. You know, that was just for some reason, you know, we just went after strange gods. We wasn't satisfied with the Most High gave us.
What?
All right. All right, so if you can hear us loud and clear, you all go ahead and put a 1 in that comment box. We are live, so we just want to make sure that we're coming in loud and clear. I'll give you a few seconds.
That's right.
Yep. All right, good deal. All right, got a 1 in the comment box. All right. Man, I hope you all are having a wonderful feast today. Should be off from your jobs, recognizing this day. It's the feast day. Hey, as far as the calendar, as we discussed, we'll be putting the calendar out in the beginning of May, probably either the first or second week. I'm sorry, my bad, Cam. The calendar will be put out probably the first or the second week in February. All right, so just make a note of that. Make a note of that because you know, once we do it, we go through it and everything. We'll make sure, fact check it, and all that stuff because we always want it to be right. And it will be ready for download at least by the first or second week in February. So we'll let you know. The calendar will be on our page, the Mind of the Brotherhood, and you can just go and download it. No cost. Please do not go and sell these calendars or try to make a profit out of it. All right, it's not about profit. All right, this ministry is for our people and our people alone. All right, so the lesson, Biblical Science 101, Winter New Moon, Times and Dates, Luminaries. And if anybody wants to call in, we left a link. We'll put it again. There's a link in the comment box. Just feel free to click on. If you have any disagreements or something that you're not understanding, you know, we invite you to come on live. And we'll be more than glad to share the scriptures with you. All right, brother, you got anything before I share this article I want to share?
No, man, just all praises to the Most High. Thank you for all you brothers and sisters that are here today, that y'all take the time out to keep the commandments. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
All praises to the Most High. All right, Israel, I'm going to bring up something. So you know how, we grew up in school, and they were teaching us how the luminaries work. And you know how they used to always say, oh, the sun is larger than the moon and everything. And, they still follow by this lie, even though there have been people that have debunked their whole theories and proved them wrong. So I want to show you something right quick. So this little article, and sure you can see that on the screen there. And I'm gonna make it a little bigger. All right, so this is what scientists are saying. They said the sun is significantly larger than the moon, roughly 400 times bigger in diameter. All right, first of all, let's just get the record straight. If the sun was 400 times bigger than the moon, you wouldn't even be able to see an eclipse. The moon would be like a little pebble coming across the sun. You see what I'm saying? You see how dumb their logic is, but yet they're they're pushing this stuff out, and people are eating it up. They're eating it up like rice and gravy. And then they're going to say like, however, because the sun is also 400 times further away from the Earth. How do they know that? They don't know anything. They just shooting numbers out their rear end, and they don't even know what they're talking about because they got the whole world believing a lie, lying on our holy Abba. But the Most High is clear, and this is why they took out the book of Enoch. This is why they took out the book of Jasher, because they don't want you knowing the truth. Now we're going to go to the book of Enoch. So go ahead and turn your scriptures to the book of Enoch. We're going to look at verse chapter 72. And let me get this on the screen while you all are doing that. So Enoch chapter 72. All right, y'all should already have the scriptures in front of you. All right. Give y'all a few seconds to look at that. And brother Aton, man, feel free to comment in, man. Jump in anytime.
Okay, man. I'm gonna let you do your thing, brother. I got I got some points.
Okay, all right, let's bring it out. All right, y'all. So the scriptures always prove the science wrong. Scientific. These scientists, these astrologers that are claiming they know everything about the Most High's luminaries, they don't know a dime, not even a penny. It says in verse 47, it says, and thus it goes in and out, neither slackening nor resting, but running on its chariot by day and by night. Its light is 7 times brighter than that of the moon, but the dimensions of both are equal. Does that sound like the moon? The sun is 400 times bigger than the moon? Like these heathens are saying? Absolutely. I was very wild. Absolutely not. I mean, these people have lost their minds, y'all. To think that and it's common sense. When you even look at it, and I'm gonna show you eclipse too. When you even look at the eclipse, you can see that when the moon catches up to the sun and it's crossing in front of it, you can see that they're the same size. Verse 3, and this is Enoch 78, and it says, these are the two great luminaries whose orbs are as the orbs of heaven, and the dimensions of both are equal. Equal. Thank the Almighty for his holy word. Because these people, boy, leave it to these heathens, man, they'll have you believing that all humans had tails in the previous life.
There's a monkey swinging from a tree.
Yeah, exactly. If you gave them the options, man, these folks are just, these folks are wild, y'all. So let's look at let's look at some images of eclipse. And you all have lived long enough to have seen an eclipse, okay? And when the moon is when they cross in front, and the moon catches up to the sun and crosses in front, then you can see how even and how equal they are. The only reason why is the glare, because the sun is 7 times brighter, it gives off that glare. But they are equal, just like the scripture says. All right. There's no getting around that. And you can even do a test, y'all. And I wish I would have uploaded a picture, but if you have to look at your new moon chart and everything like that. But when the moon is full and when it's in the daytime, what you should do is go outside and wait until like the sun and the moon is up at the same time, and do like a panoramic, take a panoramic picture. When you scan the sky, and you'll see, man, it'll blow your mind. Next time we do something like this, I have to make sure upload that picture. But I got a picture where you can see the sun and the moon, and you can look at them, man. You can just obvious that they're both the same size. They're both equal in diameter. Just no getting around it. But these heathens, man, they want to say that, the moon is, the sun is 400 times larger than the sun, and this and that, and it's about 3 million light years away, and These folks. Go ahead and hit him upside the head, H-John.
Oh man. All right. Let me see here. Come on. Let me see here. Okay. Let me bring up some scriptures first, right? Right. Hey, it's amazing, right? It is kind of amazing that we had the new moon fall on the so-called New Year's, right? Mm-hmm. This is the winter new moon, as we see on the calendar. Let me bring this calendar back up if you don't mind, brother.
Absolutely. Bring it up.
All right. See, right? You know what I'm saying? So we got the winter new moon that's today, right? And so that we know from sundown to sundown, we're celebrating our new moon. Now, the 1st of January, right? You know what I'm saying? We're just going to put y'all up on game real quick, right? The 1st of January, it is not the official, right? It is not the official first of the year, right? It's not the official time and dates, right? That we, even know from the beginning. Even the original Romans, right? They knew better than to put it in January, right? Because they know that, I guess against that time they were going against the god of war, and so that's why they had it. But you got to remember now, these folks, we're dealing with the Romans and the Greeks for the longest, so it was around our people, and they knew for a fact that the Hebrews, right, we started everything on the spring, right, on the equinox of spring. And let me bring this up real quick.
That's right. Bring it out.
Gone, right? So, right. So right here, right, if you want to go on your Bibles, right, everybody goes to Enoch 71, and some scriptures is Enoch 72, I believe, or 70 or 72. If you have the Sefer Bible, right? Let me see. Per Acre, let me scroll on down. Let's scroll all down. Let's go. All right. Now, in this whole scripture right here, in this whole chapter, you'll be able to find how Brother Daniel and I was able to come up with a 100% foolproof calendar, right? Because throughout this whole thing, it'll tell you how the moon works and how the sun works.
That's right.
Right. It tells you have 30, 31, 30-day months, 2 30-day months, and then the 31-day months. And then 2 more 30-day months, and then 1 31-day months. And that'll be 6 months. And that will be perfect. And it'll come into the winter equinox. So let me go ahead and slide up here, right? Let me show you guys. Going, return scopes. Okay. Oh yeah. Now, you see that this is something a little different, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, why the difference? The difference is where we go back to daylight savings time, and then we go back to the regular time, is because, like I say, right, according to the scriptures, right, the circle, right, the way that the earth moves, right, the way that the sun moves, the circuit of the sun, it gets smaller, you know what I'm saying, when it gets, when it starts to descend, you know what I'm saying, and then it gets larger when it starts to rise. But it shows you that the sun and the moon, that moves in a vortex pattern, because when you see here, it says when the sun rises in heaven and goes forth through the fourth gate for 30 days, and by the fourth gate from the west of the heaven on the level with it descends, which means then if you continue to read on down, it'll show you how the sun, it goes down and then it comes back up, sort of like in a vortex. All right, but Slocky, right? Let me find these. Let me slide up so we can get the scripture where he tells that, for the equinox. All right, first day. What's this? Sun's worth force. 30 days, 31. 31. Sun get now proceeded second day for 30 days, 7 parts. And 12 parts precisely was in 6 parts. Sun's completed its beginnings. The second time goes around. Salakia, Israel, concentrated. Okay, here it is, right? So here's right here. This is the equinox in the scriptures right here. And it says it returns by these beginnings 30 days, rising and setting, right? At that period, the night is contracted in its length and it becomes 10 parts. And the day 8 parts. Then the sun goes down from the second gate and sets in the west, but returns from the east and rises in the east in the third gate, 31 days, right? So this will be the last 31 days right here, right? Before we begin the new equinox. setting in the west of heaven. At that period, the night becomes shortened and in its 9 parts, and the night is equal with the day, and the year is precisely 364 days. All right, so this is an equinox right here, and so we go all the way down to the bottom of it after it goes through its whole cycle again. Right, let me go all the way down to the bottom again, and it says, let me get this up the screen. Just lock it. Right, and it says, and thus it goes in and out, neither slackening nor resting, but running on its chariot day by night, day by day and by night. It shines with the 7th port of the light of the moon, but the dimensions of both are equal. Salakia. There it is right there. Verse 41 and 42. And at that period, the night is contracted in its length. It becomes 10 parts, and day 8 parts, and the sun goes down from the second gate and sets in the west and returns in the east and rises in the east. In the third gate, 31 days setting in the west of heaven. Right. So this is the this right here will be the one of the second equinox. Right. And the period of the night becomes shortened in its 9 parts, and the night is equal with the day. The year is precisely 364 days. Right. So we have 2 equinoxes. Right. We have the winter equinox and the spring equinox.
That's right.
Now the spring equinox, when does it start? Right. When does the spring equinox start? Let me see. Let me show you guys. Right. So, right, according to we all know that the Farmer's Almanac is one of the most correct calendars, right? And see, they tell you that the spring begins on the what? On the vernal equinox, Tuesday, March 19th. Now, the equinox always comes around either March 19th or March the 20th. It's the same thing, right? And every 5 years, and then every 5 years, right, it'll vacate from being Sunday, and then it'll land right back on Sunday. Then 6 years, it'll vacate for Sunday, and then it'll land back on Sunday. And then 5 years, and so forth, and so on and so forth for eternity. It always does that. But it always is 100% accurate and lands back on the 364-day calendar of the Most High. And this is why we don't go off the new moon to begin the months of the year. Nowhere in the scriptures does it tell you to do that. Right? A lot of these camps, they'll have you believing, hey man, the first day of the year is the new moon. I'm in the first month. The first day of the new months are the new moons. But then there are plenty of years, like I think, what is it, every 3 to 4 years, that you get 13 new moons within a month. 13 new moons within a year. Yeah. And that right there is not biblical.
No, it's not.
All right, it's not biblical. Hey, brother, if you want to say something, I got some more. I just want to continue to add on this.
Yeah, I wanted to add. So let me bring up the calendar right here, because everything that Brother Eitan was reading out of the scriptures coincides with the calendar. So let me just go back to the very beginning here and show you something. So for those of you who are new, so we're still on the 2024 calendar, and then those of you who are just coming on, we'll have the 2025 calendar out either by the first week or the second week in February. All right, so just be patient with us, because we love to be very, very, very thorough with our work. All right, we want to make sure everything is right and on there. So, all right, so those of you who are new to this channel, if you look at this calendar, the first month of Abi, all right, starts in March. It's going to always be in March on the Gregorian calendar. All right, it's going to be the first month, and our new year was on the 17th of March. All right, so and we're still in our Hebrew year. And as Brother Eitan was reading, you see, notice how the calendar, you have the 30. All right, I'm gonna go to the next one, and then you have the 30, and then 31, just like he was reading in the book of Enoch. And it repeats this over every quarter. So your first quarter, 3 months, your second quarter, 3 months, fourth, and then third, and then your fourth quarter, 3 months. All right, broken up in 3-month increments. And it's amazing how the Most High has designed this. So the fall, so no matter the year, the feasts are going to always fall on the same day. Like, for example, when we look at the first month, Passover. All right, it's going to always fall on the evening of the 14th day of the first month. Always, always. It's never going to change. All right. So I just wanted to bring out that before Brother Aton went on. All right, brother.
All right, Con. Okay, so right to continue on building on that point and what Brother Daniel had just got done telling you guys, right? Even the Romans, in the scriptures when it says that there'll be a changing of times, and we have this stuff that's coming from the Romans, right? Now we know that even from the beginning, right? Let me bring up this article real quick, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to bring up this article just because it just summarized, and it just pretty much summarizes, but it's from the it's from the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I'm gonna read just this little short excerpt because I want you guys to understand that just the celebration of January the 1st in itself, right? It's going to put Hebrews, right, all Israelites, right? It's going to put you under the umbrella of idolatry, because little do you know, you are worshiping the sun god Janus, right? And it says, in many countries, the new year begins on January 1st, right? However, this wasn't always the case. In fact, for centuries, other dates marked the start of the calendar, including March 25th, right? Notice it says March 25th. What do we have right now that's usually around March 25th? March 20th or March 19th always is what? It is the equinox, right? The beginning of the year, the spring equinox, which symbolizes, in the scriptures and through our scriptures, right? Beginning, because the spring is the beginning, new growth, et cetera, right? It says including March 25th and December 25th. I don't know why that, but we're about to see why, right? So how did January 1st become the New Year day? Well, we can partly thank the Roman king Numa Pompilius. According to tradition, during his reign in 715 through 673 BCE, Numa revised the Roman publican calendar, right? So the original Romans, right, the original guys that was over there, right, they knew, because they are from the old world, right? All those kings back in the day, right, they still practiced the old ways. They knew what time it was. They knew what the beginning of the year was. Remember, at one point in time, right, all the earth knew this. This is why this particular calendar, right, and these particular things, all civilizations were pretty much going by the same thing. And you got to figure, like, how do these people know this, right? The Lord made this in the very beginning. People are supposed to know what the date is, where you go at. It says we could probably and it says it was a fitting choice since January, named after Janus, right, the Roman god of all beginnings, and he's the sun god, right? Which again we can tie back into Tammuz and Nimrod and all this other wicked stuff, right? It's the same stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? These heathens, the only thing they're doing is secretly getting you to commit adultery again and again and again, right? Let me fatten this up so y'all can see this. Hold on, because I can barely see my damn self. All right, Con. All right, so it says some sources claim that Numa also created the month of January, right? Which is very possible. I don't know for sure, right? It said, however, there is evidence that January 1st was not made the official start of the Roman year until 153 BCE. In 46 BCE, Julius Caesar introduced more changes through the Julian calendar, as became known, and retained January 1st as the year's opening date. With the expansion of the Roman Empire, and the use of Julian calendar also spread. However, following the fall of Rome in the 5th century CE, many Christian countries altered the calendar so that it was more reflective of their religion. And March 25th, the feast of the Annunciation, and December 25th, Christmas, became common New Year's days. It later became clear that the Julian calendar required additional changes due to a miscalculation concerning leap years, right? The same nonsense we go through today with these heathens, right? It's not supposed to be 665 days, because it always throws you off. If you always notice with the calendar that, the biblical calendar, the Enoch calendar that our brother Daniel and myself has provided, right? It don't change. You don't have to worry about any leap years or anything like that. Everything always lands on itself. Like I said, every 5 years, and then every 6 years, it'll jump right back on the equinox, right on the date, right on the date. It says, and it later became clear that the Julian calendar required additional changes due to a miscalculation concerning leap years. The cumulative effect of this error over the course of several centuries caused various events to take place in the wrong season, right? Right. Hey, right now, how many times have you seen these camps, celebrate Passover in the wrong season? Because they're not keeping the commandments. They over there following the damn heathens when the scriptures tell you to what? Don't follow the ways of the heathen. You man, you don't have an Adar 2. You don't have 13 months. That's wickedness.
And,
right?
and part of the reason why they go off like that too. Now y'all know these camps, they don't subscribe to the book of Enoch, Jasher, or Jubilees. Just so y'all know. And they're missing a lot of crucial information.
Con. Like if we didn't have the book of Enoch, right? We wouldn't be able to cross-reference that there's 12 and how the months go and this, that, and the third. Right? Enoch, Jubilees, all of them say the same thing. Even when you go to the back in Numbers when we were guarding the king, it took 12 tribes to guard the king, one tribe for each month of the year. We don't have 13 tribes of Israel. Right? This is what we were doing for years. So how was that possible for you to have a 13 month? That's not in there. That's not in the scriptures. Right? So that's why these brothers going by the new moon for the first month of the year, man. They're solely mistaken. And they lack understanding 9 times out of 10 because they're not keeping the commandments in sincerity, in truth. Cash apps and beg me buckets all on the side of the road, man. Come on, man. That stuff is wicked as hell. All right. And it says the cumulative effect of this error over the course of several centuries caused various events to take place in the wrong season. It also created problems when determining the date of Passover. I'm not reading on Easter, but this is Passover right here, right? This is what I just said, right? And this is, and I have not read this beforehand, right? I read the very first little sentences beforehand, but the rest of this I'm just reading to you guys for the first time. It says thus Pope Gregory the 13th introduced a revised calendar in 1582. In addition to solving the issue with leap years, the Gregorian calendar restored January the 1st as the start of the new year. So in other words, none of your forefathers, none of your ancestors, nothing like that had anything to do with you celebrating these new years or understanding what days of what. Man, you going off that, you going off the heathens. 100%. Culture given to you by the heathens. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of this stuff, man. While Italy, France, and Spain were among the countries that immediately accepted the new calendar, Protestant and Orthodox nations were slow to adopt it. Great Britain and its American colonies did not begin to follow the Gregorian calendar until 1752. Before then, they celebrated the New Year's Day on March 25th. Which is smart, right? That is nearer to the equinox, the spring equinox, and the true New Year's Day than anything else. Over time, non-Christian countries also began to use the Gregorian calendar. China in 1912 is not a notable example, though it continued to celebrate the Chinese New Year according to the lunar calendar. Wow, the lunar calendar. These wicked ass camps right here, man. Them boys going off the lunar calendar. When did the scripture say that? In fact, many countries that follow the Gregorian calendar also have other traditional or religious calendars. Some nations never adopted the Gregorian calendar, and thus the start of the new year, on dates other than January. Ethiopia, for example, celebrates this new year known as Inkutatash in September, right? And I guess that's the end of that article. Right? You know what I'm saying? That'll also tell you too, because look. Right, let's just break it down, right? How we know that these folks are telling the truth. Let's say, for example, you got the month of October, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? So we see October, right? And the prefix to October is what? Octo. And what does that mean? Having 8. So why the hell is that the 10th month? Right? Why the hell is it the 10th month? You got November, Nov. Right? That's Spanish for 9. Right? You got Deca. right? That's 10. Why is December the 12th month? Sept, S-E-P-T, right? That means 7. It's the same, you know what I'm saying? It's the same situation. Like, these heathens still tell you what it means, and still the calendar and the months that they have today are supposed to go by what it is. But these heathens, some kind of way, they just said, man, you know, we're going to omit this part, and we're going to start by going on the first of the year here, and we're going to do this and do that. But March is still the new year, even today. Even today, even though they went by March back in the day, you see that even today, when March rolls around, what time is it? Springtime, the time of new beginnings. All right. All right. September, Sep. Let's see. More definitions. Meaning 7, right? Sep, right? Sep is the prefix for 7. So these things are like, you know, like the way these heathens try to set you up, right? That, man, they'll have you out here. They got a lot of ignorant niggas. They out there in the streets right now, blowing balloons, popping fire poppers and you know, cherry bombs and all kinds of Roman candles. But what are you doing? Right? You're throwing up celebration to the sun god Janus. This had nothing to do with the Most High.
Nope. Oh, I think I fell off there for a minute. Okay. I was like, what happened? I fell off.
Yeah, that was my being. Yeah, Khan. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? A pagan day. This has nothing to do with the scriptures. Every situation that we see here, right? These heathens have got you under some kind of guise, right? Some kind of you know what I'm saying, some kind of foolery, where they want you to believe that you know, they truly have your you know, they truly have your best interest at heart, but they don't. They're having you celebrate the sun god Janus. All right, so you can go down, yeah, so you can go to this site right here, timeanddate.com, and then you can start 2024, and then, you know, we can go on down. I think, let me see, I think 2027 starts on Sunday, you know, March 20th. That's when it starts back on Sunday. You wait 5 years, and it'll get back on Sunday, like March 2033. You wait 6 years, and then let me 2020.
And that happened natural. That happens naturally. That happens naturally. It's just like since this is our 5th. This will be our you know, this will be our 6th, like a 5th or 6th calendar, you know, and it's about that time. So it's going to always be around the 6th or around the 5th or the 6th that it's going to reset itself automatically. We ain't got to change nothing. I mean, it's just amazing. Did you have anything, man?
Man, I had this. No, man. You can go ahead. But I saw this doggone thing. I had this video, man. This dude, he had this badass telescope, and he was taking pictures of all the doggone he was taking pictures of all the, well, he was taking videos of the stars. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, with the real good, and it looks like, and like literally, it looks like a reflection of water. And I wanted to show. You know what I mean? How?
Hey, if you could, while I'm bringing this point out, man, maybe you should see if you can find it right quick.
On that, yeah, come.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring out this point right quick.
All
right. So everything that Brother Aton was saying, all the research, you can do this research yourself, and you know, and it's good that you know, take some time off to do that, because you know, the Most High says that we should study to show ourselves, you know, approved unto the Most High. So we're not caught blindsided. You know what I'm saying? It's on us. It's on us to do the research, y'all. It's on us to put the work in. You don't want to remain ignorant. You know, all this time you're in the truth, and you fail to research and study, and always question this kind of stuff. Even when I was growing up, it didn't seem right. You know, these holidays to me, it never seemed right. Something was wrong. I've always wanted to investigate it, and from a very young age, even in my early teens, I knew that these holidays were pagan. You know, I remember I was 14 or 15 when I started to realize that these holidays were pagan. You know, because I was doing research at a very early age. It just, and that was the spirit, because in me, it was just something in me it just wasn't right. All right. So when we go back to the first month, all right, the month of Abib, it's going to always be. Now we're going to get ready to go to Jubilees chapter 6, because I'm going to show you from the scriptures that we were told not to go off the new moon. There's a reason for it. All right. A lot of these camps out here, they're following and they're setting all their feast days off the new moon. That's dangerous. Why? Because it's never going to be the same. Every year, your Passover is going to be different. All throughout the years, it's going to always be on different dates. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's not the way the Most High designed it. So when you're following the scriptures, you gotta be, you gotta be concise. You gotta be accurate. All right. You can't just be throwing off stuff from the hip. And a lot of these, well, I don't know anyone out there besides me and Brother Aton. I don't know anyone else out there that has a calendar that actually shows their work. And now most of these people are selling their calendars now. Just about every camp now is selling their calendars. All right. And that's
how you gonna sell your calendar, man? That's so wicked, man. That's crazy as hell.
And it's wrong too. You know what I'm saying? It's
God. Yeah, selling you straight to hell.
Yeah.
Buy your ticket to hell. That's crazy, literally.
But it's like everybody's getting on in it. Every so-called awakened Israelite is getting on. They I think the Watchmen, they sell their calendars. All the camps, they sell their calendars now. You got a lot of brothers out there now trying to get on in it because they know that if they can get a little money, just like somebody, a brother, I don't know if you said it or somebody said it in the comments, beg me buckets.
Yeah, God, man. That's
you know what I'm saying?
So wicked, man.
Yeah, let's go to Jubilees chapter 6. All right, and let's look at verse 36. And it says, "For there will be those who will certainly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon." All right. So that means that the moon is never going to be on the same day of the months. All right. Never. It's going to always fluctuate. That's why you don't set your feast off of the new moons. Verse 37, it says, "For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day." So meaning that, okay, if you're going off the new moon for your feast, and what happens is that you offset your feast because now your feast is not on a holy day that was designated by the Most High. And this is why, me and brother and I, we go completely by the scriptures on the Enoch calendar because everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. The calendar doesn't keep going up and up every year. Every 5 to 6 years, it resets itself so that way the Passover is not falling in. It's going to always fall around the end of March timeframe, part of April timeframe. It's not going to fall in May or in June. You don't understand if the years kept going up. This is why it resets automatically. So that way it keeps itself within that same end of March timeframe for the Passover on the 14th day of evening of the first month of Abib. All right. It says, "Day of feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Shabbats and feasts and jubilees." Now you still got some brothers out there. So what they'll do is when they keep the Shabbat, they don't keep the weekly Shabbat. What they'll do is, like, for example, let me just bring it so you can see a visual. So let's say, okay, the new moon in the first month was on the sunset of the 24th of the first month. So you got brothers out there, they'll look at that and they says, okay, well, I'm going to set my Shabbats off that. Then 7 days later, or 6 days later, they're gonna keep the Shabbats for a whole month on a Tuesday, on a sunset Tuesday. That's wrong, because what happens is that now you've defiled a holy day. So now you out there working on the real Shabbat, thinking that you're keeping the weekly Shabbat off the new moon. You see what I'm saying? When the weekly Shabbat always falls on the Shabbat every week. All right. So now you see how confusing that gets to people. So now next month, let's say, okay, the new moon falls on the 23rd of the second month, right? That's a Wednesday sunset. That's a sunset Wednesday. So now you got brothers that'll be keeping the Shabbat for that whole month on a sunset Wednesday to sunset Thursday. You see how wicked that is? It changes. That is nowhere in the scriptures.
Not only that, right? Think about it.
Where the Most High said that you were going to alternate Shabbats off the new moon. That is the most wicked thing that you can ever do. Go ahead, brother. You got something?
Yeah, just to add to your point, you can't. And then some of those times you're not working 6 days. Some of those times may be 5 days, or you know, something like that, because the new moon is not always perfect. You know, I mean, the new moon always comes for 29 and a half days, so you're never going to get a perfect 7 days and a 7 days and a 7 days of work in between. If you keep going off the new moon, it's going to cut some of your time short, so you won't get the 6 days of work in between time. You know what I'm saying? Which goes against the scriptures. They said work 6 days, and on the 7th day you work. But all of a sudden, if the new moon comes, does that mean, you know, if the new moon comes 2 days early from my 6 days, am I supposed to work 3 days and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, celebrate the Shabbat on the 4th day?
See, and what these,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's wicked.
And see what these brothers will do. So, for example, if the new moon on the second month is on the 23rd day of the second month, and again, for example, they'll say, okay, this is the Shabbat. This is the first day of the Shabbat sunset. Then they'll work the 24th, the 25th. They'll work the 25th. They'll work the 26th, which is the Shabbat that they're breaking. They'll work on a Sunday. They'll work that Monday, Tuesday, and then when it comes to the 30th day of the second month, the sunset, they'll rest that, because they think that they're keeping the Shabbat when they're not. You see what I'm saying? So when these brothers that are keeping the Shabbat off the new moon, they're actually breaking the Shabbat, and then you're turning and making a really an unclean day a holy day, which you're making which you turn it into an abominable day. So now it's like you double curse, because now you're trying to celebrate a holy day on an undesignated day, and then you're breaking the Shabbat at the same time.
Man, that's crazy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
You know. Oh, go ahead.
Nah. You seen this right here? That 24-hour sun? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. Let me show y'all right quick, Israel. Watch this right here. Oh yeah. Well, they're just taking a little picture of that. That right there is like the reflection of like the sun from off the dome, right? From off the firmament. You're seeing like that's why it looks like it's multiple suns, but it's not. It's just a reflection of the sun off the firmament.
At the bottom of a ball, they're in Antarctica. Okay, flip it around from their perspective. The sun is up really, really high. It's up here in like 2 or 3 o'clock range, right? It should be down in here. Makes no sense. The fact that you see the sun up high over here lighting up the realm over there, Mars or whatever it is, now that makes more sense.
Oh, Slovakia, that's false doctrine. Let's get that off there. Right. So that rest of that. Right. But the beginning, you know, as you can see, right, it was showing you that the sun right there was making a complete circle, right? A circuit all the way around, right? Which is the same situation as you know what the scriptures say, right here it says their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Now I just want you to pay attention to the second part, because this is what we're talking about. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So what is a tabernacle? A building, a tent, right? Or something like a flat earth covering up by a firmament. It says, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, right? What are the chambers? The gates that we read about in Enoch, right? And rejoices at a strong man to run a race. right? So what's moving? The earth or the sun? The sun is moving, right? Because it's moving, because it's giving you the allegory, and also it's giving you the similarity between a strong man running a race, which is a man in motion. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, right? And its circuit, what is a circuit? Right, that's going around and around in one particular motion. Right? A circuit, a circle, right? Until the ends of it, there is nothing hid from the heat thereof, right? And there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. As we know, we got even in those places that get 6 months of night, it does get 6 months of day as well, right? So there's nothing hid from the heat, and it moves in a circuit all the way around the earth.
Yep.
Go ahead, brother. That was it.
No, I was saying I was saying like Alaska.
Oh, Khan.
Yeah,
Khan.
if you ever, some of you who've been in the military, I've never been to Alaska, but I knew people who were stationed out there in Alaska, and it's like that, 6 months of dark and 6 months of light. I also wanted to bring out this as well too. And this was Brother Aton brought this out earlier, and Enoch, but I just wanted to cross-reference and just show you. It says it again in Jubilees, all right, and about the whole completion of the year. So Jubilees chapter 6 and verse 30, and it says, "And all the days of the commandments will be 52 weeks of days." So 52 weeks, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraving and ordained on the heavenly tablets. That right there stamps a seal on it, because that tells you right there that this is something that Yahweh has endorsed. All right. So 52 weeks is the equivalent of what? 364 days, not 65. All right. If you calculate 52 weeks, you will get 364 days.
Bring it out, Doc.
Yep.
So
it's the completion of the whole year. So, and like Brother Aton was bringing out earlier with the whole Roman or Catholic Church, that at one time they acknowledged that the new month began in March. And I think for the most part, most of the Christian churches, especially in the early 1900s, didn't even celebrate New Year's or any other pagan holidays.
all right, Israel, right? I brought up this. I don't know if I've done this before with you guys, right? But I want you to look at this, right? I mean, like every day, I won't say every day, but the days that you look up into the sky and you see the moon, right, in the daytime, right? I don't know what kind of, but if you get a real good camera, right, and I have a real good camera, you can zoom in, right, super close to the moon. Now, if it's near dusk, right? I mean, like if it's near the morning time or near dusk or something like that, right? If you zoom up to the moon, right, the background will turn black. Why? Because the light is not in the background of the moon already, right? The light is already moved, so it is black. Now, if you do it in the middle of the day, right, just as these pictures show you, right, the background of the moon is blue. Right, the background, what's in back of the moon is blue. Now, if the heathen is telling you the truth and they're saying that there's a such thing as outer space, right, and the moon is dwelling in outer space, how could the back of the moon be blue? Right, these are things that we see every single day with our naked eye, right, and we don't even question, because the heathen has had you bamboozled and brainwashed from the beginning. Right? If you look behind the moon is blue. And so what does that signify? That the moon is not in outer space. That the atmosphere is behind the moon, which means the moon is closer to us than it is what the heathens tell us that it is. Right? Because if it wasn't, you'll be able to zoom in to the moon, and guess what? You will see space behind it. It'll be black. But that's not the case, because these heathens are lying to you. These are things that you can check every day with your brain and your eyeballs. It's just common sense when you really look at it.
That's right.
Right? So this is how we stay focused, in that we know that the scriptures are 100% correct and they don't lie to us. Right? The scriptures don't lie to you. The Most High is the one that made this thing. You know, like how you gonna, how you gonna listen to a man don't know how he made himself? Right? These heathens, they don't understand nothing. But instead, we got a book that tells you that in this book that the creator of all made this book right here for his people. And in this book, the creator of all tells his knowledge on how the earth was made and what was going on and this, that, and the third. So am I going to listen to the book that says that the creator made it and he's explaining to me on how the earth is, or I'm going to listen to this damn heathen that tells you that I got millions and millions, I checked and this thing is millions and millions and millions of years old. How in the world are you telling that? What device have you used that has withstood the test of time to tell us that it works for 1,000,000 years? How are you telling me stuff in outer space when your dumb ass can't get to the bottom of the ocean? The richest heathens in the world climbed in some kind of space can bucket and tried to go down as deep as they could and got crushed to death. All the millions of dollars. These are the same people that are telling you that the sun is 93 million miles away. They can't get to the bottom of the ocean. They don't know what's down there. Right? These people are the same folks that are telling you they didn't travel to the moon. Now listen, these folks tell you that they traveled to the moon, but when you go in the woods, your $2,000 cell phone lose signal, which is 1,000,000 times more advanced today than it was when they had went to the damn moon.
And you know what? And
they went to the moon.
And that's a cut right there, because if they went to the moon, yet they had perfect signal. Come on, they were talking like if you was talking to somebody on the phone.
Dialed him up on a rotary dial.
Yeah.
Dialed him up on the rotary phone and was talking to him like he was right next door.
And when you go around a mountain, you lose signal. Come on now. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a scripture that fits these heathens, because that's exactly what they've been doing. Psalms 58 and verse 3. It says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies."
Speaking lies.
That's these heathens all day long. They lie. So you know what's interesting though? I remember my mother was telling me that when she was in the third or ninth grade, I believe it was the ninth grade. She remembered that they were teaching the flat Earth, and this was in the South. They were teaching the flat Earth. It was 1945. It was the year of 1945 when they created NASA. You can look this up. The same year, Admiral Byrd, who explored the Antarctica, discovered those high walls. That was the same year that he discovered those walls. So interesting that same year they created NASA. All right, come on, put the puzzles together. They discovered something they shouldn't have saw, scared the hell out of them. It's like, oh man, this proves that the scriptures are real. Oh, we got to make a lie. We got to create something to make people deceive. So we're going to take all the flat Earth teachings out of the schools, and we're going to teach a round sphere globe, and we're going to teach gravity. We're going to teach that there's a thing called gravity, and the Earth is spinning at so many thousand miles an hour and everything, and it's the gravity that's keeping you on the Earth. That's the theory. That's the theory they're teaching now. So now all these kids are being indoctrinated, that there's such thing as gravity, which is not, because it is the buoyancy of an object. So if you take a big, the density. If you take a wood log, a huge wood log that you can hold in your hand and a feather, which one's going to fall the fastest? Of course, the one with the most density, right? I mean, it's just common sense. All right, the heavier the object, the faster it's going to fall. Has nothing to do with gravity. It's just a made up term to keep the masses deceived.
There's no such thing as gravity at all. I mean, the same so-called gravity, if they say that it's pulling me down to the earth, how you gonna contain gravity keeps a 200-something pound man on the earth versus it won't, a bee. You know, a bee can flap his little wings, and all of a sudden, it could beat the force that's holding down a 200-something pound man. Are you kidding me? Does that make sense? Right? How does gravity work? It just pick and chooses. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Hey, I'm gonna show you something right quick. This is funny, man. Let me share something. You know, I love mocking these heathens because they just bad. So many people have they've been proven wrong so many times, but yet they still proceed to tell a lie. All right, look at this, y'all. It says the Earth spins at approximately 1,000 miles per hour, completing one rotation on its axis every 24 hours. Completing one rotation on its axis every 24 hours. However, this speed decreases as you move closer to the poles, reaching
Listen.
nearly zero at the north and south poles.
That'll blow Brother Daniel's wig clean off if we was spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, man. Are you kidding me right now? That is crazy. You know, if you were spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, you should be able to go up in the airplane and fly the opposite direction and get somewhere super fast.
Get there in like in minutes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, these folks just be making up all kinds of lies. Let's just jump up in the air and fly the opposite direction of the Earth, and I should get there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a trip that usually take me 7 hours, I'll get there in 30 minutes.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
Here's another good one. All right, man. Like when they tell you the distance from the moon to the sun is crazy. Watch this, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all something. It's just it's just crazy, y'all. The way they just add up numbers. Every year it changes. Y'all notice that? Yeah. Check it out. All right. It says, how far is the moon from the sun? Since the moon orbits the Earth and the Earth orbits the sun, both and that don't even make the sense. How would you even be able to see an eclipse if that was the case? You know what I'm saying? It says both the moon and the Earth are the same average distance away from the sun. On average, the Earth and moon are about 150 million kilometers or 93 million miles from the sun.
Bro, man.
You see how they just throw out numbers like that?
Some fantastical, amazing 93 million miles. Man, you can't even imagine something like that.
And
you know what I'm saying? You can even say some arbitrary.
Yeah. And people will believe that stuff with all that. They'll fight to believe that. Well, you know, because you can look up into the sky and see the sun and know its distance.
Another cut, right?
Man, these people, boy. And you can like you ever do like a time lapse? You should do that one day. Like if you live in an area where you got clear skies, set out your camera outside your home and let it time lapse for all night and everything. Come look at it. You'll see that the luminaries turn rotate in a circle. In a circle. Same way as how the sun and the moon rotates in a circle around the Earth. It's just you can't get away from it, y'all. I mean, there's just no denying it.
All right, I'm gonna start at verse 34. Right, this is another cut, right, to the heathens and the so-called doctrine of the round Earth, right, and the moon being all these 400 and something thousand miles away from us, and all this other nonsense, right? Now, according to the scriptures, right, when you read in the scriptures, right, even they got visions of Ezekiel when he looks up and he can see like the shadow of the Most High, like above the firmament, right? It looks like that he can see it because it says in the scriptures that we're literally the footstool of the Most High. So what does that mean? We're sitting in front of the throne. That's right. We're literally in front of the throne of the Most High. We're not out in some abyss, right, in the void, right, and you know, and whatever you want to call it. We're not doing none of that, right? We are literally sitting in front of the throne of the Most High on some kind of you know, on a platform of pillars. It says, at that time, likewise, I perceived that one abyss was thus opened in the midst of the earth. Now, this is during the end time, right? This is during Judgment Day, right? When you know, the lake of fire is upon us. At that time, likewise, I perceived that one abyss was thus opened in the midst of the earth, in which was full of fire. And to this were brought the blind sheep. You know what I'm saying? That's you wicked niggas, right? Which being judged and found guilty were all thrust into the abyss of fire on the earth and burnt. The abyss was on the right of that house, right? And I saw the sheep burning and their bones consuming. I stood beholding him emerge that ancient house, while they brought out its pillars, every plant in it. Now, listen now. Why they brought out its pillars, every plant in it, and the ivory enfolding it. They brought it out and deposited it in a place on the right side of the earth. Because remember now, the earth is like it was void and without form in the beginning. It's like a molding clay for the Most High, right? Where he molds environments. Well, he let Hamashiach mold the environment for us. I also saw that the Lord of Sheep, right? That's Hamashiach, right? Produced a new house, great and loftier than the former, right? Which he bounded by the former circular spot. Which he did what? Okay, I also saw that the Lord of Sheep produced a new house, right? This new house is what? Earth, a new earth, great and loftier than the former, right? This is Revelations 14 right here coming to play, right? Which he bounded by the former circular spot. No, they said because what? The earth is in this, you know what I'm saying? Because what it says, what? In the circle of the earth, right? They said, well, you know, it don't look like a pizza. No, well, you know, it's a circular, you know what I'm saying? The earth is circular, right? Sort of like a pizza, but it has plains and hills and stuff like that on it, and it's covered by a firmament, something that you cannot get out of, right? A canvas of hard, you know what I'm saying? What was it? You know what I'm saying? It looks like a looking glass, you know what I'm saying, as it is described in Job, right? It says, which he bounded by the former circular spot, all its pillars were new, and its ivory new, and as well more abundant than the former ancient ivory which he brought out. And while all the sheep which were left were in the midst of it, all the beasts of the earth and the birds of heaven fell down, worshiping, petitioning them, and obeying them and everything, right? But I want you to see that what? That he bounded by the former circular spots, all its pillars were new, and its ivory new, which means what? The earth sets up on pillars. The earth sets up on ivory pillars.
Huge pillars at that.
Yeah, Con, man, imagine how, imagine, man, something that we probably couldn't even fathom in our mind. Huge ivory pillars holding up the earth. Up underneath that goes across, you have the tectonic plates and the separations of hell, right? And then on top that covers it, you have what? You know what I'm saying? You have the firmament. And then on the outside of the firmament, you have water. You have water that insulates us from the glory and the strength of the might of the Almighty. Because you know it says that you can't even bask in it. You probably can't see it. You can't see. You'll probably die from even seeing anything even close to to the Most High God. Now, he doesn't want you to believe in something that's a lot less amazing than this. Instead of sitting in the Almighty's chamber in his glorious house, right, man, we're in the house right now. We're not out there in the void, traveling at some fantastic speed in the Milky Way galaxy and Mars and Jupiter and Pluto and all these. Come on, man. Come on, man. What? Are you serious right now?
They know that they can get you. If they know that they can get you to believe in a spherical Earth around Earth that you're spinning on a globe, it's easier to believe in evolution. It's easier to believe in Darwinism. You know what I'm saying? That you came from apes and all that kind of stuff. That was the whole purpose. Because they realized that they were a chosen people on this earth, and so they don't care about their own people. You know what I'm saying? The heathens don't. They don't matter. You know, this attack was on us. This attack was on his people. So, you know, they took out the flat earth out of the schools. They took out the commandments out of the schools. You know what I'm saying? They just started going all in and wickedness and causing our people to do the same thing. And it's our people who sets the stage, because once our people get back to keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, that's when all hell's going to break loose. But until then, we're gonna keep going through this beating. that we're getting. And our people don't even, and what's so crazy, our people don't even realize it. You know, that we're the key to this whole thing, to our suffering. We really are.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
It says, he raiseth up the poor. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. Right. This is in the Torah. Right. Oh, no, it's Slakia. No, it's not. I made that up just now. Slakia. Right. So it says, because that's the first 5 books. Right. So it says, and he raises up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill. He set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. Right? That stuff is self-explanatory. It's impossible for you to believe these heathen when you really just sit down and really like use your mind and understand these scriptures. You cannot believe that these heathen are sending rovers and satellites to Pluto.
Nope.
Like I said again, when they can't get to the damn bottom of the ocean,
they can't even get out of the dome. You know, they can't even penetrate the dome. They can't get out. They can't even crack it.
Their own lies tell on them. They tell you about all kinds of, they make up stuff and tell you that, we got space storms and all this debris and spatial dust, and we can't see between these nebulas and all of this other crazy stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, hold up now. So how in the world are you getting the signal through all of this, these crazy stuff, and you're able to report back, and you're taking these photos of these camera, and of these faraway galaxies? I mean, this stuff doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? None of this stuff makes sense that they tell you.
It's all lies. That's why. All lies to keep you under that banner. That's why certain technologies, y'all know that they could invent telescopes right now that could see so far. Like, for example, another test you can do, you know how they like to say that the earth is round. If you look at the ocean and you see the ship goes down, that's proof that the earth is going on the ball. No, it's not. It's perception. Because the further, if you create a straight line, and if you walk that straight line for like, for just for a couple of miles, you're going to shrink until you like completely disappear out of the picture, because it's perception. Because the eyes cannot see so far. But if you were to take a telescope and then power enough, you can bring that image right back up again. But if you had a telescope that was so powerful, the ship would never leave the view. You can always see that ship going on the ocean. If it was a clear day, no clouds in the skies, you can see that ship. But they want you to believe that, it's because the earth is curved and therefore the ship disappears because it's going in a curve. That's a lie. That is a lie. That's just perception. That's all that is. And that can already be the scientifically debunked. Because again, like I said, if you're walking in a straight line, if it's flat for like 10 miles and you walk in a straight line, by the time you get a mile out, I'm not gonna be able to see you no more, because the perception of my natural eyes can't see that far. But if I get a powerful telescope, I can bring you right back into view. I mean, it's that simple. Those are just some tests that you can do, to show you that the earth indeed is flat. Even when you're on a plane, all right, some of you who's flown already, when you look out, you got a pair of binoculars, you can bring binoculars on a plane. You know what I'm saying? Look out the window when you up there and see how it's just gonna go and go. You ain't gonna see no curvature. Mm-mm. It's just gonna keep going and going as far as the eyes can see. The only reason why you can't see so far out is because of perception.
That's all it is. You can say that when you get down the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime you get down a long hallway, just look down there and it looks like it's just coming to a point. But that's only perception in your mind, right? You got to remember how that looks on the grand scale when you look out at the earth, right? It's the same perception. Your eyes do the same thing. Only because you're in an enclosed area, a small space, you can immediately see it. You can immediately see the perception of it. Looks like it's coming to a point, but that's how your eyes see. Because look at where they're placed. If your eyes are placed up there, you're not a cyclops, right? Your eyes are placed. You have two eyes that work together, so they have to do what? They have to meet at a focal point in order for you to see, right? In order for you to lock in and see in one vision, your two eyes have to lock in at a focal point. which means what? It's going in, which is why when you look down the hallway, the further you look down, it looks like it's closing and coming to a point, because that's the way your vision is made. That's the way the Most High made you. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, right? And I want to read a couple of things, because this right here also debunks any kind of foolery these these scientists say. It says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and for years, and let them be for the lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. All right. And God made 2 great lights, right? One to rule the day, and the lesser to rule the light. And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, right? And there's also another one, right? Hold on. And it says he made the stars also. All right, hold on. Let me see. Slovakia. Let me. Right. So the reason why I wanted to put that is because God only made one sun, and he only made one moon. But then when you listen to the heathens, they'll tell you what? That the stars, and he said that what? And the stars are, he put them up in the firmament. He didn't say that the stars were suns.
That's right.
We see obviously that the star is something different from a sun from the scriptures. But the heathen will tell you that, oh, look at these stars out here. These stars got other planets around them. What? Their own doctrine doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about? Suns have, stars are, where does it say in the scripture that stars are suns? Stars and a sun is 2 different things. Right? Those are 2 different things. They're not the same thing at all. You got something up?
No, man, I mean, beautifully said. I mean, it's just so obvious, y'all. And I would challenge you all just to do those little tests that we talked about. If you live by an ocean, take a pair of binoculars out there. When you're on a plane, take a pair of binoculars on the plane. See how far you can see. You know what I'm saying? If you live in an area where you got clear skies, when the moon has all its light, do a test. Take a panoramic picture when you capture the sun and the moon. You can see that they're the same size. But yet these heathens will have you just believing their lies and eating it up. But there are a lot of people who are starting to see now, that it's wrong. And I truly believe that they're desperately trying to hold the lie, but they can't, because the truth is coming out regardless. So
look,
yeah.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser night to rule the light. Right. So the 2 great lights are what? Meaning great as in size. As a matter of fact, I wonder if we can let me see something. I wonder if we can go to the thing, because I wanted to see what it says in the doggone in the Hebrew, right? Because these and
remember too, y'all, those two great lights, and remember what it says in Enoch. One is only 7 times brighter, but they're both the same size.
Con. I'm just. Oops, Slovakia. Because the reason why I wanted to ask that is because it says 2 great lights. The stars are not considered as great lights in the scriptures, so they won't be the same size as the sun or the moon. The sun and the moon are the only things that are large, because it says 2 great lights, one to rule the day, one to rule the night. So that ought to tell you their illumination would to be different, because we know that night is darkness, right, and sun is light. But you listen to the damn heathens, and they tell you, oh yeah, we just, the moon happened to be a chunk that fell off the earth during the time of the dinosaurs, and it flew up in some kind of way, and it formulated and started to rotate around the earth.
And they'll tell you that each star you see too is a sun somewhere that's like millions of light years away.
And then he said, as you can see there, it says, and he made the stars also. You can tell that's something small, right?
Exactly.
That's something small in the scriptures.
Exactly. There's only one sun and one moon. All right. Most High didn't say that he created 1,000 suns and dispersed them across the galaxies.
Right. A large in magnitude, the extent. Right. This is what this is what he's talking about right here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the things, these are great things, huge things, immense, right? Large extent, great things. These aren't these aren't something small that we're in. That's why it says two great lights. The scriptures are very descriptive about what it's talking about, right? The light, the greater to rule the day, and the less and the light, the lesser to rule the night, which means that it is telling you what here in comparison is telling you straight up that the lights, the illumination of each are different.
That's right.
The bright one is for the daytime, and the not so bright one is for the nighttime. Right? It makes sense. The Most High knows, even when you wake up in the dark, when you first wake up and it's nighttime, right? Something bright on your eyes, man. That's not, that's not, it don't feel too good. But the moonlight, man, that don't bother you at all.
Yep.
Right. And also, like an afterthought, boom, he made the stars. Numerous prodigy, right? Let me see what it says in the Hebrew. Does it have anything to do with stars, feminine form, especially planet Venus? Oh, let's see what this is. Stars. Oh, all right. Because we know what I'm talking about. All right. Probably from the same the money sense of rolling, sense of blazing, a star as round, you know what I'm saying, or as shining, figuratively, a prince, a star. This outline, root word, not in star, brothers, use numbers, prodigy, personification, God's omniscience. Strong definition is probably the same as H22. Yeah. It's not a sun. Right? It's not a sun. It don't have nothing to do with the sun. So there's no such thing. You got stars that have the other planets revolving around it and all this other false stuff that these damn heathens will tell you. There are no other planets. Earth is it. That's it. Where in the scriptures that it says, in the beginning, God made other earths and other worlds and stuff like that. That's not in there. Right. And then on top of that, right, let's just think of the time frame. Right. It said God said that he made 7 days. Right. I mean, he took him 6 days to make it. God said he took 6 days to make one earth.
Yep.
One sun, one moon, and the stars in the firmament. That's all he said. He said he took 6 days to make that. And then on the 7th day, he rested, and he said that he looked upon his work and it was good, and he was done. He was finished. Where part of the scriptures say that God gets back, gets back in the creation mode, and he starts making other galaxies and planets. Stuff like that. That's not in there.
Little green aliens and big eyes and stuff like that, and googly ears and seeking around in these UFOs and stuff.
That's not in there. You know what I'm saying? Where in the scriptures does it say that? It's a singular focus in the scriptures. It says in verse 2, and the earth, singular, was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. It doesn't have anything to do with God saying that he's making other planets and other earths or anything like that. That's not in there. He took 6 days to make one earth with all the animals in it. He made Adam and Eve, and all this other stuff. He was dealing with this stuff.
It's so simple that man comes by and just tries to make everything all complicated. Create Star Trek to make you think that there's other worlds and all that kind of stuff out there.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I like Star Trek. Star Trek is one of my, hey, me and my old man, we used to sit down and watch Star Trek all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But too bad it's not real. You have to be able to separate
exactly,
right? Fiction, right, from nonfiction, from fantasy, right? Fiction from fantasy. This stuff, they got you living in a fantasy world. Everything about these heathen, everything they built, they have you to try to distract you from what is real and what is around you.
And guess what? They're going to use that very thing to deceive a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be deceived. Oh my God! Oh, it's aliens! Look at the sky! I see these little orbs. Oh my goodness! The aliens are coming. They're going to deceive so many people. Man, you're going to have our people. Man, you're going to have people flooding social media with that good stuff. The sad part about it, it's going to be women leading the charge. Oh my God, God is coming. I had a dream. I saw it in my dream. Oh man.
Yeah, we're living in Babylon. This is the face of Babylon anyway. We can see it already.
Yep.
Got y'all believing in all kind of crazy stuff. First of the month, everybody out there having fun. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and have a ball. Let's pop some let's go ahead pop champagne. They partying, watching the ball drop.
They out there. What? They out there. These brothers out there on the New Year's Eve, man. 12 o'clock, waiting for the ball to drop. Got the firecrackers ready, whatever. Got their gun ready to shoot off in the air. Oh man.
Hold up, man. Let me see.
Our people, boy. Man, our people are just engrafted in it. When the scripture says that our people will be destroyed, man, hey, scriptures were on point when it said that.
Con. Just wicked as hell, man. You got y'all boys out here celebrating Janus. I mean, like listen right here. All y'all go ahead. Listen right here. Janus is a Roman god and does not have a Greek equivalent. Roman god Janus is the Roman god of beginnings, endings, right? Endings, entrances, exits, change, and transition. He is also known as the god of doorways, archways, gateways. Janus is uniquely a Roman god. It is not adopted from the Greek pantheon. Janus is often depicted with two heads looking at one foot. Hey, y'all are worshiping a two-headed monster. This joker got two heads, a two-headed heathen. Don't even look like y'all. This is what's going on right now. Y'all out there popping champagne, watching the ball drop, holding your babies out in the middle of the cold, worshiping this dude right here and don't even know it.
People don't care. They don't care. Even if you told them the truth, it's like, well, I'm just spending time with my family. But they don't care. You got to be able to care in order to be able to see what's wrong with this stuff. If you don't care, then you just don't care.
All right. They don't want
point
to
blank, nobody can do it. Yeah. Nobody. And you know what? And I can see why. The Most High said what he said in Deuteronomy 68. I'll rejoice over thee to destroy you. Because if you don't give a damn about the Most High's laws, you think he's going to care about you?
I'm going to bring out Brother Daniel's favorite scripture. Brother Daniel, you
go ahead and bring it out, man.
It says, boom, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, we have rejected our forefathers. We have rejected the scriptures. We have rejected two-parent households. We have rejected submission. We have rejected standing up to being men. We have rejected loyalty. We have rejected brotherhood. We have rejected every ancient and old way that'll sanctify and assure salvation for our people. So we got the Lord. He said he's going to reject us. And thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. And we see that today. That is absolutely the truth, because we have forgotten. In the land of the heathen, waxing old, adopting the ways of the oppressor. These ways that Brother Daniel and I teach, and we think of, we speak about, these are lost on our people. They don't know what to do. What? No, what? Keeping the commandments, feast days. I want to celebrate Christmas. Oh, I want to eat Thanksgiving. They'll rather cut you off because you ain't celebrating Thanksgiving or Christmas with them. What's wrong with him? Something wrong with him. And they're looking at you like you wicked.
Well, they're the ones that's wicked.
Man, it's a holy day right here, and you over there on the holy day. How many Israelites around the earth, instead of celebrating the Most High, they celebrating Janus?
And those are your two worldwide holidays, Christmas and New Year's. are the main two that are celebrated all over the world. I mean, all over the earth and everything. I mean, those are the main two that I can think of. As far as the other one, I think Easter, most part, is celebrated across the earth as well. But those are your major pagan holidays that the whole earth celebrates. Oh, they go hard, and especially in Europe, they go hard on New Year's Day and on the Christmas Day. They go hard, boy. Because it's their that's their gods, that's their idols. They've been serving their idols for thousands of years. We wouldn't always serving their idols like that.
Con.
You know,
Absolutely
we had our feast days. You know what I'm saying? We had the commandments. We're not supposed to be mixing in with them. You know, envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests. I will punish them for their ways and reward them for their doings. And what is the reward that we got for our doings? The curses. All right? Man, we're cursed so hard that we don't even know how to keep the damn days of the week right. Right? We don't even understand what month it is. We lost. We are absolutely lost. For they shall eat and not have enough. For they shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Come on, Israel. Man, the Most High don't play, man. You think he's changed? And see, the reason why we can read scriptures like this from Genesis to Revelation, right, and it all pertains to things that we're doing today, is because we know that the Most High doesn't change. If he was looking at us back then like that, he's looking at us now like that.
Exactly.
Man, we might not get any prophets and priests, you know what I'm saying, to tell us, hey, man, to get right. Well, we might get any prophets, right, to tell us to get right. All right, and that comes straight from the word of God. Well, we damn sure got priests. We got a few of them out here, right? A few brothers that understand the law, statutes, and commandments, and a few brothers that are actually out here doing it. So we just got to pray, right? All of us got to pray. All of us got to study these scriptures. Obeying is the main thing, right? Put your fringes on, do what you got to do. The knowledge is there. It's in the scriptures. Everything that we need is in the scriptures. So we do not follow a false way. Everything is in the scriptures. So we don't never follow a false way. I don't know, Israel. What y'all want to do?
And for the masses of our people that are not listening, you know, hey, they're going to come across the truth some way or the other, whether they rejected it or not. But I guaranteed you, all of them will have come across the truth. And it's not going to be any excuses, you know. So,
let's see. This is going to be my last scripture out. But, you know, this is one of my favorite scriptures, though.
Bring it up.
Right. It says, through thy precepts, I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. This is why Brother Daniel and I, and a lot of you other brothers is also a part of the congregation, right? That we don't fall susceptible to false doctrines, right? That we understand that the scriptures has already a proven way to come up with the calendar days, and we have already have brought that to light, right? All the brothers and sisters that are with us today, right, and with us, you know, all the time in spirit as well. We understand this, right? We see the work that the Most High has put upon all of us because we all have that understanding. Now we got to hate the false way, right? We got to rebuke those that try to go by these false calendars and they try to sell it to their people, having them going on an unclean day and try to make an unclean day a holy day. Man, that's another sin in itself. They don't even realize they're doing because they don't have the knowledge. 13-month years. Where's that at in the scriptures? Making the new moon the first day of the month. That don't have nothing to do with the word. Going out celebrating New Year's. And even the heathen knew that the damn New Year's began in March. A bib for the Hebrews. Starts on the equinox. The scriptures tell you that. That's why we got to read in sincerity and truth and keep studying, and that we be able to pass down these things to our children and their children's children. And so for one day that our numbers may grow to such a state that we'll be able to get the hell up out of here. This is a hard walk, Israel. This ain't easy. It's a hard walk. That's why so few make it. A wave compared to a drop.
And I guess if it was easier, everybody be doing it, but it's not. So this is why everybody's not keeping the laws. It makes sense. It's easy to listen to some folly or get excited about the second Exodus, you know what I'm saying? Or destruction of the heathens, or sharp people will flock to that stuff. Yeah. Oh, let somebody have a dream and talk about, we getting out of here in March of 2025. Man, they'll eat that stuff up. But keep the laws? Nah. They don't want that.
Yeah, this whole thing. Y'all need to, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this whole section out, and then if you want to say something else, man.
No, I'm good, man. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, lamed forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. Thy faithfulness is unto all generations. That's including us, right? The Lord is still faithful to us with the promises, right? Thou hast established the earth, and it abideth. They continue this day according to thy ordinances for all of thy servants, until thy law have been my delights. I should have then perished in mine affliction. I will never forget thy precepts, for with them thou hast quickened me. I am thine. Save me, for I have sought thy precepts. This should be every single one of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wicked have waited for me to destroy me. That's what these heathens are doing right here. Got you celebrating 4th of July, New Year's, this fakeness, But I will consider thy testimonies. I have seen the end of all perfection, but thy commandment is exceeding broad. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Though through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for my testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, not some, not a little bit, every evil way, that I might keep thy word. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me how sweet are thy words unto the taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. With that, Israel.
Mm-hmm. Broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, but narrow is the way that leadeth unto life. So you got to stay on that narrow path. It's like it says in the scriptures. The broad path is where everybody loves to go. That's where all the fun is taking place. Everybody's doing it. If you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb, then the broad path is for you. That's where you belong. If you love celebrating the holidays, then the broad path is for you. That's your thing. You can have it. And now our people are gearing up for the wicked holiday of Ishtar. And you already know what that is. That's that Easter. where everybody, every single Israelite is going to be up in the church on Sunday in their finest. And then they're going to send their kids out to search for Easter, for bunny eggs, which rabbits don't even lay eggs. So I'm just saying, you know, I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse until this whole thing falls. And as I like to say, our people are just going to have to bleed out. There's no other way. They're just going to have to bleed out. And we're seeing them bleed out. We're seeing it right before our eyes. It's bleed out. You know, but hey, it's their choice. That's what they want. Then so be it. Let them bleed out. Nothing you can do for them. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Unless you got something, brother.
No, that's it for me, Ak, man. Hey, man, I wish everybody a happy Shabbat new moon. Shalom.
That's
new
right.
moon.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna bid you a hearty Shabbat new moon. If the sun hasn't set your time already, continue to enjoy the feast. And Shabbat Shalom new moon.
And stay strong, Israel, and stay strong.